It is 5 o'clock. I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Board of Education to order. Lisa, can we have a roll call, please?
Director Seaver,
Here.
Director Rice,
Here.
Director Connie Simon,
Here.
Director Sauter,
Here.
Director Laffey,
Here.
Superintendent Norman,
Here.
and Board Chair Rob.
Here. Okay, meeting's called to order. We have a quorum. Public comment, we have nothing. Recognition of any guests or visitors who wish to address the board. I have a name here, Joseph Swedick.
Well, I was just wondering what you guys are gonna do to masks, so I can wait until the meeting progresses to see
Well,
what masks.
for this particular meeting, there'll be no action taken.
Okay.
So, if you wish to address us, fine. If not,
Well, if nothing's being done about it now, there's no point now. I can wait till they are.
okay, all right, no problem. Are there anybody else who wishes to address the board? Okay, seeing none. A motion to approve the agenda. We have a consent agenda, and it consists of two items, the payroll for the month of $166,469.71. And accounts payable for the month of $309,825.
$309,000.
Yeah, 309.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I would also request that we take items G, H, and I, the donations from the action agenda, and move those to the consent agenda. Because they are donations, to accept the donations, those should just move to the consent agenda.
So let us take item G from action to consent. Item H from the action to consent. And item I to consent agenda.
Which would include attachments 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah, no, 10, 11, and 12.
9, 10, and 11.
Nine is the fees.
And on this updated one, that's
Well, I'm going off the old ones here. School supply donation from Delta was attachment 9. School donation from Faith Lutheran was attachment 10. And the donation from Women's Steel Local was attachment 11 on the original agenda.
agenda has changed because we had to do that.
Okay, so the agenda I'm working off of is the one I just received, which is different than what we got.
Well, that's the only one I had, and I used the attachments that I also received. That's how they were numbered on the original.
Well, basically what we have to do is just take the donation motion and move it to the consent agenda. Okay?
Yeah, that's fine. The
Okay.
attachments are over, whatever, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So with the consent agenda with payroll and accounts payable, also a motion to accept the school donation from Delta and United Way. And a motion to accept a school supply donation from the Faith Lutheran Church. And a motion to accept school supply donation from the Women of Steel, Local 2705, 6860, 2660, and 1938. And also thank everybody who does this. This is well needed and really appreciated by the kids and the teachers in the district. So, seeing that change, we have a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So made.
Motion by Clarice, is there support? Chair supports. Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Number 5, motion to approve the minutes of the August 23rd, 2021 regular meeting. We have a motion. Motion by Shelley. Is there support? Support by Danielle. Comments or questions on the minutes? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6 is reports. Number A is the superintendent's report. Adrian.
Update for you was Governor Walz announced a declining enrollment support package to schools. I worked with Alex on running the numbers. I believe it is attached in your packet, so you can have that information on what that means for Chisholm. Any questions on that? We did a file review and we worked with the teachers union and we did find a few teachers that were placed incorrectly on the salary schedule based on a scenario could be transcripts and number of credits and such. We worked with the teachers union and corrected those mistakes and just wanted to let you know that 2 individuals, we righted the ship on some things that weren't correct. Our learning management system, we got some teacher feedback. We allowed them to use the sandbox and we have received a bid and I asked them to amend the bid for more support and more PD with it than just kind of a one-time, one-hit wonder. And then if we don't support it and evolve and grow with it, that I didn't want it to be a one and done item. It's something that we need to use as a tool when it comes to blended learning. So I just received it before the meeting. I haven't even had a chance to look at it, but I'm set to have a meeting with them tomorrow. And in talking with the union president, he felt the same way, that teachers will need support and guidance throughout the process as we evolve. So we start using it for aligning standards, state standards, and putting curriculum into our warehouse, that PD is a very important part of it. So more to come on that in the near future. Curriculum coordinators put an update, just talked about the meetings they've attended. They have one coming up on the 22nd or 23rd where they're going to meet with other area curriculum coordinators. They're going to work on adoption cycles and possibly if, let's say, science standards change and we need to adopt something, that we can maybe use a larger group purchasing power. And so we're going to take part in that group. And they had some other notes for you to read within your packet. Did sign a deal with the company Alice about mid-year professional development day. It'll be a 3 to 4 hours of training on school safety and school shootings, and how to deal with a school threat. So that's coming. There's 2 grants that I wrote and have not received any feedback yet. One was Slips and Falls prevention grant, and it's to purchase an additional salt spreader so we can salt sidewalks and areas. And that is $2,000 that they'll reimburse on a sale of $4,000 or more. So we have a bid on that and a grant written with, I haven't heard back on. The other was through OSHA, and it's for a lift that we can use to change and clean cameras, any painting, anything, and it's for a 30-foot lift. And that one is a matching reimbursement of $10,000 on a $20,000 purchase. So in that range, it would be a used one, and we did get a quote on that as well. So waiting to hear back on those 2. That occurred after meeting with someone regarding these available grants, and they were fairly easy to write, so I wrote them. With feedback from the carpenter shop and from George, just to say what are our needs when it comes to these areas. Alex proposed December 13th, 6 PM meeting for Truth in Taxation. And I just wanted to let you know and get that on your calendar now, that that's coming. Got all the feedback from the district in-service day, and I have to say that you won the feedback by providing breakfast. So the most positives we got were thanking the board about breakfast. Things were different this year. I did get a lot of positive response, and there's some areas we'll work on for next year, just doing things a little differently. I do have an update on COVID shots for eligible students. I believe it's an error, it should say 12 to 19-year-olds. And that's just from our zip code, so those students could be attending elsewhere, but as a snapshot, 119, or was it, one dose of our eligible students, 35%, completed the series 28%. The other thing that I'd like to talk about in the working session, please do not let me forget, is if we wanted to do a survey regarding if enough individuals would like a vaccination, they would need 12 or more to do an option here on site.
Okay. Any questions for Adrian? Thank you. Okay. We have no correspondence, so we'll move to the action portion of our agenda. Item A is a motion to approve a one-year leave of absence for Jamie Johnson, effective August 30th.
Sure. You have consent agenda?
Huh?
The consent agenda?
Oh, we didn't vote on that. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
So
Motion by Jackie, is there a support? Support by Cindy. Okay, thank you. Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving to the action portion of the agenda, item A. Motion to approve the one-year leave of absence for Jamie Johnson, effective August 30th, 2021, it's attachment 3 in your packet. Do we have a motion?
So made.
Motion is by Clarice, is there a second?
Support.
Second by Jackie. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, approve the hiring of Jennifer Warris as an LPN/paraprofessional effective September 7th, 2021, and that's attachment 4 in your packet. We have a motion. Motion by Jackie. Is there support? Support by Shelley. Any comments or questions?
So she's gonna, like, be in the nurse's office, but
She has
is that
Kara,
as a parent?
LPN.
Jennifer.
LPN, so she's assigned one-to-one to a student while they're here, according to their IEP.
Oh, okay, so it's a one-to-one, okay, got it.
Any other questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, approve the hiring of Julie Vital as a bus driver for the 2021-22 school year.
It's a van driver, okay.
Okay,
I'll make a motion.
motion is by Clarice, is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Jackie.
No one's been.
It was me.
It was you?
It was me.
On my side.
Okay. Okay. Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item D, approve the hiring of Maggie Iverson as an early childhood assistant for the 2021-22 school year, attachment 6 in your packet. We have a motion. Motion by Jackie, is there support? Support by Cindy. Any comments or questions?
Yeah. Now, is that the ECFE assistant, does that have anything to do with this big packet from KEOA? Okay, this is something totally separate. That confused me a little bit there.
adult and CFE bids.
But it has nothing to do with this assistant position, okay. All right, I'm clear.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve the hiring of Maggie Iverson as an early childhood assistant for this school year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E, approve the hiring of Brady Bohm as the PEP Club co-advisor, attachment 7. Is there a motion?
So made.
Motion by Clarice, is there support? Support by Shelley. Any comments or questions?
Who's the advisor or the other advisor?
This is the Sabat McMartin,
Oh,
so
Pardon?
we're just gonna work together in the
Sabat McMartin.
Sabat McMartin.
Oh, okay, oh, and she's out right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Any other questions? We have a motion and a second to approve the hire of Brady Bohm as a PEP Club co-advisor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F is to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Chisholm School District ISD number 695 and Arrowhead Head Start from August 1st, 2021 through July 31st, 2022. Attachment 8 in your packet. Have a motion? Motion by Shelley. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Jackie. Any comments or questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item F, approve the payment of athletic fees for the 2021-22 school year. And that's to the high school league. Do we have a motion?
so made.
Motion by Clarice, is there support?
Support.
Support by Jackie. Any comments or questions? See, we got a credit. We got a credit for activities not performed, which is nice.
So did we go through this with all these, with these joint activities with Hibbing, we still have to pay the full?
It's not a full membership, it's a percent of, it's an equation based on number of students. Am I correct, Mark?
Which fees are we talking about, just the
High school league.
$225 per activity?
It's the high school fund.
The,
Oh, I misinterpreted what she asked.
The ones that we share, that we,
co-op,
yeah, because everything is $225,
Yeah,
every
still-
sport.
so I'll give you an example, we co-op with Vivian in soccer along with Victory Christian and us, all three of us have to pay the $225.
Okay, so there's no cut for,
No.
No.
So,
Yeah,
and then we don't have any, or we have no coaches or anyone helping out with those activities and when we pair and share sports, correct?
yeah, the agreements, all the agreements in place has Hibbing as the,
They're the only coaches and,
correct, yeah, so they hire all the coaches and goes through them, so.
because I was thinking for your Schedule C, you can almost use this, it isn't. Because these are your high school league activities. Okay,
okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the payment to the high school league for the 2021-22 school year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, that ends the action portion of our agenda. We're moving on to discussion. Item 10, COVID. And this is requested by one of our members to be put on the agenda for a discussion. So Jackie, would you be so kind?
Sure. Actually, I'd hoped it was gonna be on for some sort of action, but we can have a discussion too, which is fine. So back in July, when we discussed, how we would start the school year, I think we were, looking at other school districts to see what they, what they were going to be doing as well. Also with regards to the local numbers and where we were. I think we were substantial transmission. I know we are now in high transmission. I I know that Hibbing took action last week and had an emergency meeting and implemented a mandatory mask policy. I think that I'm surprised, I guess, that we don't have, we haven't called a meeting to discuss this more seriously. In the first week of school, we've had now, we had a classroom in the Vaughan that had an outbreak, that had a positive person, and then now that's passed on, and they have 6 positive kids. And I'm gonna say, point blank, 1 sick kid is too many for me personally. So, I just don't understand, because we have the recommendations that were given by our public health nurse. She sends those out weekly. The MDE has a guide, and it's honestly all hands on deck approach, guys. Like, what can we do to keep kids in school? What we can do is encourage vaccination for those who are eligible. Mask, socially distance, clean, hand washing. These are just public safety things. These are what's being recommended by the CDC. It's being recommended by the Minnesota Public Department of Health and Education. It's being recommended by St. Louis County. So to me, not doing anything at this point is just, it's just somewhat unacceptable. And I think that we're putting our children at risk and our teachers at risk, our staff. And we're just not gonna be in school. And we don't have a backup plan, and we've already cost our kids a year and a half, COVID has, of actually in-person learning. And kids are behind. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So, I mean, if we're not taking action tonight, then I think that we should call a special meeting and put it on that agenda, that one item, and then take some action. Because I feel that we'll be liable for kids getting sick if we don't take appropriate action that's recommended by our public health officials. So that's my feeling. And I don't understand, I guess, why we haven't taken the immediate outbreak and closure of the classroom in the Vaughan and taken steps immediately.
We are going to move this discussion to the working session, and we'll get into it a little bit more in depth. And all the board members will be able to speak their minds, speak what they think. But again, if the members, after we're done with the working session, want a special meeting, then we'll have one. So, that being said, thank you, Jackie, for your thoughts. All well thought out, I know that. So moving on then to information, our current enrollment, which I believe is better than it has been for a while, I believe.
So you had asked previously just for some updates, and those are what our enrollments were as of that date.
Okay. So at least at this point, we're looking at a grand total of 671 students in our district.
As far as K-12.
K-12, and then any interest.
Didn't include that.
Yeah.
Head Start and
It doesn't include pre-K.
did not include.
Okay. Okay. So that's informational for everybody to take a look at. Okay, any other information from members? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Shelley and support by Clarice. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. It's 5:25.